experience. It was the first action role that I had, and it was my first series regular role. I really, really learned a lot by working with Dana He. She was my stunt double. She was also an Olympic gold medalist in Taekwondo forms. On the stunt and fight choreography, I myself have a dance background, so learning the fight choreography was not dissimilar to learning the dance choreography. And we shot the film in Orlando, Florida, or not the film, the series in Orlando, Florida. And it was an incredible opportunity for me to really learn how to be a star on a TV series, do action, and just stay consistent throughout. And the storylines were a lot of fun. The people I worked with were great. Larry Kazanoff, the producer, ironically, I just ran into recently, and I hadn't seen him, I don't think, since the show came out. So it had been a number of years. So we caught up over coffee. And yeah, it's a franchise that people just really love. And I think because the storylines and the concept is so imaginative and creative, it's almost like this parallel universe where people can relate in some way, or people can imbue themselves into this world and kind of have an alter ego aspect in it. And of course, it's sexy, it's fun, it's creative, you know, there's travel involved and great sets. And so, yeah, I really did have a wonderful time doing Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, and Kristanna, in terms of Mortal Kombat Conquest as well, there was an awful lot of strong female leads. Aside from yourself, there was Tracy Douglas who played Vorpax, Jamie Presley who played Mika, to name but a few. You had Roshamba Williams who played Kali. You had strong female characters throughout the series who played really prominent roles, and that was something about the Mortal Kombat in terms of that the women were just a match for their alter ego male counterparts.
Yeah, I believe so. I think it was one of the pioneers of its kind for those types of strong female roles. And yeah, I mean, the women were just as badass as the men. So I think also too, for young women growing up, they could watch the show and say, "Hey, I have that strength within me as well." So tapping into that, I think, is definitely empowering for women, and especially coming up in that generation where there wasn't really a lot else to see that underscored the strength of women and femininity in that.
Yeah. And I suppose playing a character that was invented for this TV show, for this TV series, that there was no background or dialogue. Not many of the actors now are featuring in the Mortal Kombat movies today and coming out next year. And sort of, they have so much research, they have so much backlog on the characters built up after 10 or 12 years. But you pioneered a role that was new, it was invented for this sort of TV series. So were you able to put your own twist? You were able to touch and tweak her along the way? Because we saw an evolution from Taja. She sort of started off maybe as a sort of the petty sort of crime thief, but as she went on, she almost was like the brains of the operation. She was the mother house of the, dare I say, the fortress, keeping everyone in tow, keeping everyone in line in terms of that. So she went through character sort of change, two or three different sort of character changes throughout the one season, from where she started until where she finished off.
Yeah, I think we had a lot of creative flexibility, and I had input because it was the first time you saw Taja. She was a new character, and you know, as also too, Paolo Montalban and Daniel Bernhardt, as the three of us gelled as this kind of trio, they also saw our different strengths, etc., and how we could better play off each other. So yeah, I think in series, a lot of the time, I mean, sometimes it's really hard line and the writers write it and the producers give it their blessing and that's it. But us actors in this, yeah, we did have some creative input and flexibility.
And Kristanna, speaking to Bruce Locke, who played Shang Tsung, and he was telling me about probably his only regret, his big disappointment was maybe how it sort of finished up and the quick sort of finish. He was said the first 18 episodes, he said, for him were pure gold in terms of that, but maybe the finish was time sort of rushed up given that the announcement was sort of coming. There was a quick ending that he caught him by surprise in terms of that maybe he felt maybe if you got maybe another 6 months or something to sort of finish up or wrap it up, that maybe the ending sort of didn't really leave us with a sort of cliffhanger. But in terms of the last one or two episodes, but he was telling me the first 18 episodes he was totally engrossed in it. He just felt maybe that there was a quick sort of finish to it.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't really know. I
Hmm.
mean, my experience with various series. I also think of Painkiller Jane, another series I did, taken from the eponymous comic book. Um, you always, wish you had more time, right?
Hmm.
Artistically, to be able to create the stories that you had been coming up with, the backstories for your character or for the different relationships, or some of the other great guest stars that we had on the show. Maybe we'd like to have some of them back. But sometimes you just get what you get, and there's not
Yeah.
much you can do about it.
And Kristanna, do you think you were a victim of the times that there was no streaming platform around at that time? No Netflix, no Prime, no Disney sort of Plus, where we see many series that never got the amount of ratings that Mortal Kombat Conquest got, big picked up for a second or third season because of the options of those sort of platforms. Do you think maybe if this show had come along, maybe at a different sort of era that you would be at least looking at maybe 2 to 3 seasons?
There's a very good possibility in that, for sure. Yeah, things were different then. We were what was known as syndicated, was kind of a bit of a new thing in that time because we were able to really land on different stations around the world. We weren't just, owned by one per se. We had flexibility, and even when they've rerun episodes here in the United States, it's shown up on different places. So I think it was the beginning of more flexible options with TV shows. We were kind of an anomaly onto itself. But yes, I mean, it's a really fair point. Yeah, there's so much content out there now that doesn't get the viewership like we got, or have the built-in following like the Mortal Kombat brand has. So yeah, it probably would have been a different story had we done it later. But maybe we wouldn't have done a full season of 22 episodes. It might have been 8 or 10 or 12. So I'm glad at least we got the full 22 that we did.
Yeah. And Kristanna, as an actress, obviously a certain allegiance to the sort of Taja role, you probably was close part to your heart as well. But I've spoken to many other actors, and as time goes by, and they always said if the opportunity came about to play some minor role in the Mortal Kombat franchise going forward in the future, whether it was a voiceover role for a video game or an animated sort of series, maybe rekindling the character that they played or some other role, or even a different sort of character in the movies, that they would be open to the intrigue. Such was this how much Mortal Kombat meant to them. Is that sort of different for you? Or you always feel allegiance is tied to the Taja character, or is it just the franchise as a whole that you would like to maybe, if the opportunity came about, to explore something in that line in the near future again?
Yeah, I would be open to either reprising my role or doing a different one. I think there's so many different ways that the franchise has gone since the time of the TV series that. Yeah, I could be a completely different character. I could be the same one. I voice work is always fun too. So yeah, in speaking with Larry, I mean, he's got lots of ideas for the franchise, and really interestingly, his belief in the franchise in the beginning, which was, seeing it as a game and saying like, hey, there's really something here that we could embellish into all of these different storylines and this fantastical kind of alter ego that people get to play. They get to be these characters, and now we can bring them to life in a live action project. So he certainly has ideas to keep it alive and keep it going. And yeah, I'd be open to entertaining various ideas.
Yeah, and I suppose there is a gap in time has passed, really. I suppose we're nearly up on 20 years since anything has been done since Mortal Kombat Conquest. So there definitely is an opening, and such with the two movies coming out, such with the platitude of the games, there is an opening there in the market for something, for another sort of a TV series. And probably it's only a matter of time before something comes to plug that sort of market as well. And do you think maybe the time is good, Mortal Kombat rolling on the quest of a wave, dare I say, with the second movie coming out away, that now is the time maybe to rekindle maybe something from the past in terms of TV series, or start something new again from the fresh?
I honestly think you could go either direction, because there's been a gap in time, but I people talk to me all the time about how much they love the series, so it's still in people's minds. So you could potentially project forward in a timeline by a number of years and pick it up into our lives, as we are now, so to
Yeah.
speak. Or you could start something fresh too, and create something from the start. So I think it would work either way.